Hi Gemini, welcome to November 2018 love reading. It's Rena here. I think I decided to do your reading next because the last card I did for Libra, I got the Lover's card and I said, yeah, that's Gemini. So maybe you're going to have something going on with a Libra person. Whoa, got a lot of swords here. Swords can be conflict, a lot of mental energy, like maybe you're thinking too much, you know, thoughts are racing about something, and you might not be sure of what's going on about a certain situation. I feel like there's a Leo person involved. I get two cards here with Leo. Leo is a compatible sign with Gemini. But as you know, just because Leo and Gemini form a sextile or an easy angle doesn't mean that every single case that the people that have these signs are just going to have a wonderful relationship. We're all individuals, aren't we? The heart of the matter is the Seven of Swords. This can be some sort of deceptive behavior on somebody's part. In a love reading, we're going to say cheating, kind of slinking off. But it can be, in some cases, that if you're with an obsessive person, that you have to find a way to like get away from them, but you have to be smart about it. You have to have your wits about you in order to do that. I call it the sleeping with the enemy card. I have to see that movie again because it's so fun. It's so scary to me. It's a psychological thriller. And it's also a card of physical theft. So I can also see a case of being with a grifter, and I was trying not to laugh there because I was thinking about this one person who wrote to me and they go, what's a grifter? And I think it was from somebody from Australia or something like that. And I think we all know what the term con man is, or what's the gender neutral term? Con artist. Okay? And it's funny because Gemini can be a con artist, and I'm not saying all of you are con artists. I'm saying it can be. It's a sign that because Gemini can be a salesperson extraordinaire, and you could sell ice to Eskimos or Inuit or whatever they're called. The point is that in this case, this would be somebody doing this to you. Okay, and so let's see who is doing this and why. Well, we get here at the base of the reading, the Six of Wands, and I said this is connected to Leo, and this is also a card that talks about accolades, receiving like rave reviews and taking your bow, maybe career success and things like that. It's possible that you were with somebody who was jealous of you because you are doing great in your career, and because they felt insecure, they went out and cheated. So I guess you could look at it from that perspective. But we even have this that's connected to Wands, which is fire energy. And this is, I got the Two of Wands, I got the Three of Swords, and that could be like a lover's triangle. So it could be a situation where someone is, maybe you're deciding whether or not you want to keep putting up with it. The Two of Wands is about deciding whether or not to stay or leave a particular situation, but this could be leaving that relationship. Perhaps you've gotten some kind of a job offer that would take you far away, and maybe that would be the best thing ever, but you still are kind of attached to this relationship. And it may be a dysfunctional relationship, but for whatever reason, you don't want to let it go. It's interesting because I was thinking about Gemini, and you can comment below how you feel about this, because obviously I'm kind of broad brushing every Gemini person. But I was thinking that maybe even if you did find out your partner was cheating, it wouldn't carry the same sort of negative feeling that it would to another sign. I don't know how you feel about that, because I tend to think that the air signs are more detached and, dare I say, more emotionally mature about it. It's not just about being emotionally indifferent. Air signs, and Gemini is a big one along with Aquarius. Libra might have a little bit more desire to be uniquely in a relationship with somebody. But the other air signs, you and Aquarius particularly, are very much of the belief that people are not each other's property. And so this idea of like, you stole him from so-and-so, that a Libra, not a Libra, but an air sign person would laugh at that notion that somebody can steal something like it's, you know, a piece of property, and you don't ascribe to that belief. So if you are in a situation where somebody else can't decide between you and them, you may like just keep, you know, staying involved in this relationship until they decide, because even if it's painful, it's not as painful as it would be to another sign that is just completely appalled by that whole scenario. You're not necessarily appalled by that. You just want it to end. I mean, you want to have, you might want to have this person all to yourself, but you don't, it doesn't just like seem beyond the pale that somebody would have this type of reaction, because maybe you've had that before where you couldn't decide between two people. You really honestly could see yourself with both individuals. Maybe you think to yourself, why do I have to choose? It's kind of funny, you know, some of these cards. But I think that what would bother you most of all is represented by the Seven of Swords, the deception. That's the kind of thing that can really turn you off, because you might be able to understand how somebody could have an interest in a third party, but just that idea of lying about it, that could be very disappointing to you. The higher message, the Three of Swords, this is a card of sometimes of feeling rejected, dejected, unloved. But this can be as spiritual advice or as psychological advice. It could be saying make a clean break, like a surgeon who is doing a heart surgery where they just do a very clean incision. They're not, you know, in order just to get, you know, cut to the chase and to avoid as much pain as possible, they just dig right in and cut it off. Don't allow anything to fester, because many people, they ease out of relationships and then they're in another world. And it might be, if there's a situation, maybe this is an on-again, off-again situation with this person, where you know what I was thinking? The funny thing is, maybe the other person is a Libra, now that I think about it, and that's why they have such a hard time deciding. And you might just be rolling your eyes, because I told you, no, I said a Leo individual. And I said, and I said here, because there's a couple cards here that suggest a Leo person. But who knows? You know, I could see a Libra person having a hard time making the decision. In terms of what is going on right now, we have the Page of Pentacles. So this could be some kind of a message. Sometimes this has to do also with a new job, and somehow that features into things. So again, because I did say that you might be pondering something, you might decide, I'm taking that job, and I'm going to put some distance between me and this person. And either that's going to make them really miss me and realize what they have, and maybe if I take myself out of the picture, the dynamics will change between them and the other person that they're with, because there's always that sense of excitement when you're going behind somebody's back, but if that person isn't there, it might not, that excitement fizzles, and you might find out there really wasn't anything there to begin with. So that could be what's happening too. You might hear a message from somebody who is an earth sign individual. And this actually, the earth sign that you're most interested in, Gemini, is typically a Virgo person. The other earth signs are Taurus and Capricorn. But this could be somebody coming back from the Venus retrograde. And maybe you hear from somebody from your past and they happen to be an earth sign individual, or they have a very earthy demeanor. That could be also coming into the mix. What's coming in is the Strength card, which is associated with Leo. And in terms of you may be getting stronger every day, to quote Brittany, because you may have been through a lot. You may have been through somebody else's midlife crisis or somebody else's lack of self-esteem, that you had to be put through all of this. Yes, I do feel that when I get the Strength card, that it means that the person's stronger, but it also means that they've been through hell sometimes, where it's like kind of getting a pat on the back from the universe that you've made it. You know, you're still in one piece after all you've been through. And the outcome is the Page of Swords. So it may be that you have some kind of a reason why you are kind of in spy mode, because that's what I see with this card. It's like gathering evidence. If you are married, you may be gathering evidence because you're going to get divorced. This is like the third reading I've done, and it's like I've just been getting these divorce vibes. And, you know, even if you're not legally married, you might be still embroiled with somebody in terms of like you bought a house together or something. So you still are going to have to go to court about it, even if you're just living together, and take things up. But the thing is, it's like you are kind of on red alert. You're not in that typical Gemini mode of just like chilling, having fun, and just laughing. You're very like interested in gathering evidence for some reason. This can also be for some the beginning of a relationship with an air sign, a fellow air sign. So besides Gemini, the other air signs are Libra and Aquarius. And we have 2 pages here. So this can be messages, maybe internet-based messages. If you're somebody who likes to, you know, go on dating sites or something like that. Well, I'm going to say goodbye because my camera is about to go off. If you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below.